welcome back to my channel. And today I'm not gonna show you just one but three different toppings for oysters, especially in the summer because you need something refreshing, and oysters are not just fancy but refreshing and tasty, and also because they were on sale, and then I just had to come up with ideas to how the fuck do I show those people how to eat oysters. And well, yes, in 24 hours I came up with this three amazing different toppings. So are you ready to learn them? So the first one, it is the Cantaloupe Caviar with bacon crispies. And why Cantaloupe? Because it was also on sale, and I already told you, big sale girl. And bacon because they work very well together. The other one is a more innovative take on oysters, and I really hope they taste good because I was dying to try that. I was like, white chocolate and oysters. Oops, I already told you what it is. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna tell you everything now. Ooh, it is berries and white chocolate, but with oysters and some olive oil, Spanish one, of course. And it's burnt white chocolate and frozen berries. You're gonna see. And the last, and which I believe will be my favorite one because of being really fan of this thing lately. You already saw another channel here. It is hot sauce with the my mango kombucha granita. I told you I'm a big fan of that lately. So, are you ready to learn how to make those? 1 kg for €5. 5 euros. 1 kg of big, beautiful oysters. I'm not lying. You can see the reality here. Look at the size of this giant. I could have a beer inside, and then maybe I could get rich selling the beer, but no. But I'm sure it will be very tasty. I couldn't resist. And then I got those for us. And to show you guys a few ways of eating those babies. So when prepping oysters, you can go fully on. Don't do many stuff. Just chuck, open, put your toppings and eat. Or you can work just like a chef and prep everything ahead of time. The oysters, they have to be prepped the same day, please. Nobody wants to get sick. And what we're gonna do is to chuck it open, remove the meat, wash the shell, remove any parts that are in the meat. They are not edible, they are parts of the shell. And then we plate the back and the shell that is clean, and nobody will eat piece of shells whenever eating the oyster. Because I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I absolutely hate when I go to a restaurant and then I'm just like sucking up an oyster, and then comes like a piece of shell. It's like, oh no, they didn't prep the oyster properly. I hate that. So I'm gonna teach you guys this trick. But if you're okay eating a tiny piece of the shell, have this hard stuff in your mouth, or if you don't care at all, then do the easy way. Otherwise, you can do the chef's way. To start checking your oyster, to protect your hand, you're gonna need kitchen towel. If possible, clean one, please. You're gonna put your oyster in between. You're going to open this with your oyster sugar. But if you don't have that, you can use a knife that you don't really care much to get damaged, like those ones in here. A few chefs, they actually prefer to open oysters with that. Me personally, no. I really like the oyster sugar because it feels, you have a better grip on that. But that's it. Then this is up to you. And then there are a few ways of opening an oyster. Me personally, I prefer to always come here in the tip and open from here. Some people, they like to open from the sides. I'm not a big fan because I feel that you break a lot of parts of the shell if you don't have much practice on that. And then it's always easy on the tip to find where to go with your oyster sugar. So you're gonna put in between here, and then you have this part here. You see this part here? You're gonna see like a part that is kind of open. You're gonna put like this. Watch out to not hurt yourself. That's why it's very important to have the kitchen towel here. And with the oyster sugar, you're gonna open here. So we're gonna do like this. Once you feel that you are in, everything gets much easier. It starts coming up, then you start going on the sides. Okay. So once you feel that you're in, you start to going on the sides and the little turn. Okay, over there. Try the other side as well. Ooh, voila. Now it's open. Okay. I have a few pieces of the shell in here. Let's try to remove oysters. Here we go. Out. The oyster is here also out. So what I like to do is just save the liquid that is inside because there's a lot of flavor. As you can see, I'm sweating here to open oysters. Oh my god. So what I like to do here is to save the liquid. So to save the liquid, I put this in a glass and then I pour the liquid here onto that. And then we detach our oyster from the membrane that is sticking it together. So we have more liquid here. Now I want to show you the oyster here. Let me get you. It's big, giant, amazing. Oh, I love it so much. And now you're gonna set it aside. Put it in here. And then we're gonna do the same with all the other oysters. And then you set it aside. If you like to eat this membrane, because a few people they do like, then you can keep that. I'm gonna save to make this, to turn this into sauce. So I'm gonna actually remove this from here, because I don't really like to eat this hard part of the oyster when I'm eating that one. Okay, so let's see if we have more liquid. And that's it. And just keep repeating the same thing until you're done with all your oysters. Save the shell because we're gonna clean that. And now what you would do is to rinse the shell and remove, if you can, scrub, otherwise it's fine. Just remove the non-edible stuff, so like the bits and bobs of the shell. Make sure this is fully clean. And then you're gonna just rinse your actual oysters. And then it's better if you start rinsing your oysters, put them back in the fridge so nobody gets sick, and then you move to the shells. So we're gonna first start with our little melon caviar. So the Cantaloupe caviar. I already have in here some chopped melon, which I'm gonna put in here and then blitz everything. And as always, my dears, when you're cooking with something delicious, you always should taste it. I love this melon. It's so good. And because I'm a big sale girl, it was also on sale. €1 for 1 kilo. So it cost me €4 a whole melon. Woo! And now it's time for my chu-cha-chu-cha. We need to strain this, because for our caviar, we don't want a big chunks of big, like the pulp of the melon. We just want the liquid stuff. So if you have a juicer or whatever, you can just throw in there. It comes out already very liquidy. You can do in there. I'm doing my tiny blender in here, but you can also buy fresh melon juice that is like those cold press, stuff like that. So it should come already very liquidy. If it comes thick, you need to strain, okay? And that's what I'm doing with my nut bag, okay? So I'm gonna pour everything here. So to save some dishes, I'm already doing this in the pan. And I need to know the weight as well. Let's see how much we got in here. Straining. You can imagine how satisfying it is to do that. Like your hand, like it's so nice. Obviously, if you have to make big batches of that, it might be a little bit annoying, I understand. But with that, we should get lots of caviar. And with the pulp, you can either eat that or throw in your yogurt or blend this again in your smoothie in the morning. You don't have to waste that, okay? Okay, lovely. Looks like we got a melon here. That's so good. Oh my God. With 300 grams of melon, I was able to get 250 liquid ready for our caviar. So just for you guys to see, it's very, very liquidy. No pulp, nothing, so nothing will annoy us whenever we are making our caviar. This is pure joy. Thanks, Earth, for giving me the sweetest melon. Like, seriously, you can imagine how good is this melon. Before we cook that, we need to have our station ready. So to turn this cantaloupe melon juice into our little caviar to top up our oyster, you're gonna need a few things. And if you don't have those things, you cannot do that. Okay, so you're gonna need a syringe to suck up everything, or a pipette. Pipette, I don't know how to say. Pipette, maybe, yeah. Also to, and just drop the things in there, okay? You're gonna need one or the other. And in our case, right now, we're going to use some Agar. So for every 250 ml of juice, of liquid, we're gonna use 1 gram of Agar, okay? Agar is quite easy to find. If you cannot find in your regular supermarket, in the Asian shops, you're gonna find. Otherwise, online, they always have this stuff, okay? So don't you worry, child. And yes, you're gonna need a whisk as well, because you need to mix that. So before you start that, because this is a very fast process, you don't have much time for error, okay? You need to already set up your station. So what we need here is some cold chill veggie oil, okay? Or whatever type of oil you can find. It has to be liquid, so veggie is the best option you can find. It doesn't really matter the type of oil you're using, it just has to be cold and liquid, okay? So you set up your station, you already have your stuff in here. And now we're going to bring this to a boil. So right now here, we're just going to bring this to a boil and cook for around 1-2 minutes max. And you do need a whisk for that, okay? Otherwise, the agar might become a little bit clumpy, and that's exactly what we don't want for this recipe. Agar, I don't know, needs to reach a certain temperature to activate. So that's what we're aiming here, okay? Just like gelatin, but this version is vegan. We're obviously not doing any vegan dish in here, but you can certainly use this technique for a vegan dish. Now that you see that it's already boiling, it is already activated. So just gonna make sure to cook this for maximum 1 minute. Can you see this beautiful color? I don't know if you can see that. It's a very, very beautiful color. So once it's already like this, you can turn up the heat. And now that's when you have to be fast. So that's why organization is key to do things like that. Okay, heat is off. So now we're going to build it up our amazing oysters, because oysters and alcohol, they go very well together. We all know that. So we're gonna add a little splash of brandy, very, very small amount. Perfect. Some drops of lime juice. So we bring up the flavor and the acidity, and this will work very, very well with our oyster. And why do we add this right now and not before? Because we don't want to cook those, okay? We don't want the acidity and the flavor of the lime change, and we want to feel the alcohol, okay? If you don't want, you can cook the alcohol with the juice. But me, personally, I find that this works very, very well with oysters. And now, this one, we gotta be really fast. Now, we get it from here to here. And now this one, you have your fingers crossed and you hope for the best. So I'm gonna first do with the for you guys to show how it works with this one here. Okay, now we add a few drops in here. And they start to fall. And now we can try with the syringe. Okay, you gotta be very careful. Me, personally, I find easier and faster to do with a syringe. But you do the way you find easier for you. The way you find easier for you, alright? Once it's ready, you're gonna strain it and rinse it to remove all the excess oil that is in there. And then you're gonna end up with this cute caviar. Be mindful that if your oil is not cold enough, or if you're doing too fast, they might clump all together and not become the caviar that you wanted. It will just become a normal jelly, and that's it. If you don't want to turn all of that into caviar, you can save some, put in the fridge, and then later on you can turn this into a gel. So you're gonna get this hard together, place everything, and then this will become a gel. Okay, so in this case, you won't need any special equipment. So if that's easy for you, you can save that. And now it's time for the second part of our oyster melon caviar bacon. And it's time for the bacon, which is super, super easy. I got myself a smoked bacon because I like the smoked flavor of a bacon. For me, it's not real bacon, it's not smoked, sorry. And then, and now I'm just gonna crisp it up. So how I do is, I'm gonna get myself 2 or 3 strips of bacon. Depends for how many people you're making. You can always have the crispy, crushed bacon hanging around in your house. You're gonna eat it, you can top up anything with that. And then, me, I will make those in my air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, it's okay. You can make in your microwave for 5-7 minutes. It depends on how strong is your microwave. You just put some kitchen paper underneath that, so you get a plate, you put a kitchen paper, and you put the bacon over that, and then you cover, and that's it. And then within 5-10 minutes, your bacon will be super crispy, ready, and not burned. If you don't have any of those options, you can make it in your oven, but it will take much longer. You can still make in your frying pan, but you might not get as crispy as those 2 options that I'm giving to you, and it will take much longer. So the easiest way to do is either microwave or air fryer. So I'm gonna get mine in here, put on my air fryer for 180, 185 degrees for about 10 minutes. And meanwhile, we have 10 minutes to prep other stuff. So let's go to the other toppings for our oysters. And now we already got our bacon crispy and cool, because you don't want to be touching super hot bacon, and it has to cool down a little bit to crisp up. So sometimes when you remove from the microwave or oven or the air fryer, you get it's a little bit like floppy, blah blah blah, and and then you're like, oh no, I need more time. But that if you leave longer, you're gonna actually burn. So if you see and it's already this color, it is done. Okay, don't leave longer. You just need to cool it down. I'm gonna even put it here closer so you guys can hear. Can you hear? Very crispy, perfect for what we want. So I'm just gonna put them all together and chop it up. That's all we want with the bacon here, because we already have a lot of things going on. We don't want anything else in this bacon. If you're doing a big batch of that, you can throw this in your food processor, okay? But because I'm doing this for you guys here and myself, I don't really want to make a big batch. It's ready now. Very fatty. I love bacon. Now that it's already chopped, you're gonna set it aside. Please don't put this in the fridge, okay? You don't want that to get wet. Put everything here. So now we're going to make our burnt white chocolate to top up our berries in our oysters. I know this is a really, really weird take on oysters, like white chocolate and oysters, but they work well together. And it's not even me saying that. It's this book that those guys took over 10 years to get flavors together. And here they specifically say about oysters and white chocolate. And also, if you don't know that, oysters and white chocolate, and if you didn't know that yet, caviar, but the real caviar, not this one that I just... Caviar and white chocolate, they also work very well together because they have the same flavor profile for that. And here, in this book, they tell you about the flavor profile of the oysters and all the food pairings you can pair with it. So that's basically where I got mostly all my ideas of today from. This is definitely one of my favorite books, and if you're into cooking, this is something that you should get, especially if you're into creating different flavors and different pairings and get to know what can you mix with what. That's a book. That's not for newbies, okay? Going back to our white chocolate, we just have to chop it. I have this big chunk of white chocolate. You don't really have to get it. You can just buy like a normal, regular white chocolate bar, and that's it. And now you just have to chop it. And it's always good to have some white chocolate Krispies in your house hanging around, especially if you want to make a last-minute dessert. It's good to have this on hand, so you can just top up whatever, even just like simple yogurt, and it's done. So I would recommend you to make extra. I'm trying not to snack this because it's hard. Every time I have this, I end up snacking it on its own, just because it's really, really good. It's actually better than just white chocolate. And now you're gonna get yourself a tray. My tray is actually broken. I don't have a tray anymore. So I got this pizza tray in here, and I'm just gonna cover this with some parchment paper and pour our white chocolate over here. And now you just spread it, but keep it together, kind of. You're not gonna put one here, one there, and they're just too far from each other. And then it will cook in different times. So try to keep them near but spread. And we are doing this way because there's another way where you melt everything and then you put in the oven. But when you melt everything and then you put in the oven, it just takes more time and it comes out a big chunk, and then you have to break everything. When you do this way, most of the pieces will come out already broken, so it's quite easy to prepare. So you save time and also money because you're not going to spend more time in your stove or in the microwave melting your white chocolate. And now to the oven goes at 180 degrees for around 10 minutes or so, okay? You got to keep an eye on that because you don't want this to get really burned, okay? Just caramelized, kind of burned, but not black burned, golden burned. And now, with the berries, and to make your life much cheaper, we got frozen berries. Because you already spent enough money with the oyster, I know. You're gonna put the frozen berries in a glass or something that can go to the microwave. And you're gonna put this in the microwave for about 2 or 3 minutes maximum, okay? You remember when I told you to put the white chocolate in the oven at 180 degrees? And now, to the oven goes at 180 degrees. I forgot to switch my oven for that 180 degrees. And it was at 250. I left my white chocolate in there for, I don't know, 5 minutes. And it's already burned. But like, badly burned. It's awful. So, because I don't deal well with waste, I absolutely hate to waste stuff, I can see that here in this middle here, I can save some. So I'm not gonna make it again because I really don't want to throw this in the bin. I mean, not all of it, but I'm so sad. I can't believe I was so focused on you guys. I can't believe I forgot to change my oven temperature. But please, don't do the same as me in your house. I'm gonna save a few pieces in here, and this should be enough for my oyster. Please, don't make the same mistake. I was making extra to have extra. That's the good part when you make extra stuff. If something happens, you can still have some left. Let's see the bright side of the things. I'm gonna cry. I can't believe. It's fine. If you have a working restaurant, you know that those things, unfortunately, they happen all the time because sometimes you're just slammed with a lot of things to do. And yes, my bad. I'm sorry, guys. Can you forgive me? I can at least save. And I didn't give you guys a wrong tip. So you do in the right temperature. Please, don't delay me. Make sure you check your oven 10 times before. Thank you. And now, the your berries are done. Don't leave them for too long in the microwave, okay? You have lots of splash, it will be a huge mess. That's not what you want. You're done. We're gonna add a little bit of lime juice to bring up all the flavors together, like we all do when we're trying to cook. That's it. So, a few drops. And then you just mix it together. If you want something hot in your cold oysters, this might be like a good mix and match. This is up to you. I prefer like everything cold together in this case. This would be nice to have like something warm over a cold oysters. But today specifically, I don't want that. But if you do, you already need to have your oyster open, your white chocolate here, and then you just put it over. And that's how they look like. It's almost like a jam texture, but not really a jam because we didn't add any sugar, and we don't want to add any sugar because we're gonna pair this with white chocolate, which is already very sweet, and we want the acidity of the berries in here with the sweetness of the white chocolate and the umami from the oyster, and savory and umami from the oyster, and then that's why they go well together. So now you just set it aside, and then now are you ready to pair the things that I could save from the white chocolate? Oh, there's plenty for the oysters, and I will still have some left over to snack on or to top up any other dish. So what I want here is just to break them, because they didn't melt then and they didn't come out in a big brick. It's very easy to break. You just do like this with your hands, and you always taste, as I always tell you, I love this so much. And that's what you should end up with. Very crumbly, burnt white chocolate. And the best part of when you do this by hand is to lick your fingers. Look at my hand. It's so good. And now you're gonna do the same. You're gonna set it aside. Do not put this in the fridge. You can keep this for up to 3 months outside of the fridge. Make sure it's fully closed. I normally keep mine on one of those Ziploc bags. You're very handy. If you don't have one like that, I would definitely recommend you to get. Because if you keep this in here inside, it will last minimum 3 months. That's minimum. And you can put this over ice creams or any dessert you like, or even savory stuff like we're doing right now. So take this in. And we're gonna do in one single move. Just here. And now we are actually repeating a technique that you guys already saw in my other video, my mango kombucha granita. And now we're just gonna shape the ice, become like a granita, and keep it in the freezer. And I just want to show you how useful it is to have this mango kombucha in your house. As I'm just trying to convince you to make this because it is absolutely tasty. It goes well with any seafood, and if you want to surprise your friends and get the wow reaction, that's definitely something you should be doing. And never forget that when you're making a granita, you're gonna be fast and it will matte, and all your work will go to the bin. So now everything's clean. I already have my clean shells in here. It's already dry as well. So now it's time to plate. I'm gonna use the top of them to stabilize it. Let's see if it's gonna work. Looks cute, huh? So now I'm gonna get all my toppings and my oysters. I was actually thinking now that it would be something really cool to do like a different take on like an oyster bar, that people actually choose the toppings that they want in their oysters. So you have everything there and then they can mix and match. So it'll be something really cool. Maybe you can do this in your house and people just like choose how they want their oysters. You have like, oh, maybe we can do this or that, or maybe you can just mix the way you want and create something new. So now I'm gonna grab our oyster. So before grabbing the oyster, what I want to do is to pour back a little bit of the liquid that was inside of the oyster. I'm gonna use the syringe so I have more control, but you don't have to. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit in here, a little bit in here, and a little bit in here. So we're gonna start with our cantaloupe caviar and bacon crispies. Let's start with this one here. That's why it's important for oyster to be stable. We're gonna first use our cute caviar. And our bacon. You also don't want to overpower the flavor, so be mindful whenever you're adding stuff to don't like add too much of something. Second one will be the very innovative flavor. It is crushed frozen berries. I'm doing like a teaspoon for everything because a big oyster, if it's a smaller oyster, you might want to do a little bit less. Some olive oil. Spanish one always, because I'm in Spain. It's from the supermarket brand, but this is very good. It's from this type of olive that is called Arbequina. It can be very expensive in other countries, but here it cost me, I don't know, I think 7-8 euros, something like that. And let's not forget our white chocolate crispies. And the last one, we're gonna add some hot sauce. So I have this one here, that is this Mexican hot sauce. It's really, really, really good. If you don't know this, you should. It's called Valentina. And this one is the muy picante, so very spicy. But to be honest with you, it's not that spicy, okay? But you do the way you handle. You can just add like some chipotle that is not too spicy, or even jalapeno will do, something like that. It can be good. Or Tabasco. You find the hot sauce that you prefer. I really, really love this one, so I'm gonna add this one into my oyster. So you're gonna start with this one. You're gonna put this in the bottom. I put like 5 big drops because I love, that's for me. But if you cannot handle that much spicy, it's okay. You put less, but only a few drops. So you can even mix with the oyster liquid. Now we're going to put our big oyster in here carefully. And now we're going to top the last oyster with my favorite ingredient of all time so far in this channel, the mango kombucha. And mango kombucha granita. So you have different mouthfeel. Okay, so now, my loves, it's finally time to taste those babies. I hope we can taste that as well at home. So let's see which one will be my favorite. Oh, let's see if I'm gonna stick to the same thing I told you guys in the beginning, or will I change my mind? Let's see. So I'm gonna start with the Cantaloupe, Caviar, and bacon. Oh my god, so exciting. Oh, cheers, did I already say cheers? I don't know, cheers again. Oh. This is actually so fucking good. It's really nice. The cantaloupe with bacon and the oysters, they work really, really well together. I kind of already knew what to expect, so I'm not like mind blown, but it is very tasty. I love like melon and hamon, melon and bacon. I find like a great, great pairing. So it's great. Yeah, it's good. Not great. Let's leave space for the greatness. Second one. This one, I'm very, very, very excited. I think I'm gonna put some more white chocolate. What do you think? Should I? Yeah, I'm gonna put more. And tell me guys, before I try this one, can you easily find oysters where you live, or is it hard? How do you do that? Because I live by the beach, so for me it's quite easy to find any seafood, especially like living here in Spain. But tell me about you, because back in the days when I was living in Brazil or Ireland, it would be very, very hard to find like oysters, especially with this price. Okay, now we're talking. I stopped, sorry. Let's try this other one here. Okay, berries, white chocolate, olive oil, and oysters. So, cheers again. Ooh, ah. I just can't believe how well they work together. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's so good. I wasn't expecting that much to be honest. I was like, nah, it's going to be like weird. It is different because it's definitely something that we're not used to. But I mean, it's so good. I can't believe how good this is. White oysters like that are not in the menu all over the world. Seriously. This is something that you really have to try, and it's so easy to make. There's not much work to do, like just a few tricks to cut down the process, and that's it. Wow. Wow. That's my review for you guys. Wow. Okay, so now the last one, which I don't know anymore if it's gonna be my favorite or not, because after the white chocolate and berries, God, it's getting hard to beat. Okay, let's do it. Yes. Okay. Cheers again. Very exciting. Ah. I need a minute. I'm so addicted to this mango kombucha lately. Seriously. And this with an oyster. It's like, oh, heaven. Mango kombucha granita with hot sauce in an oyster is heaven. That's it. You have to try. Say no more. Try, please. Before I let you guys go, I want to try a different one here. I want to mix match the toppings that we have here. I just had this idea I told you guys not so long ago, so let's see here. Oyster juice in here. 1 drop of hot sauce. 2 berries again. The olive oil. Now I'm not doing everything together, just a few things. Perfect. Bacon and white chocolate. Burnt white chocolate. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna even lick my fingers this time. I'm gonna wash. Okay, let's do this. Ready or not? Here I go. Cheers. That's so beautiful. Okay. I still have 4 oysters in the fridge, but I'm not gonna open right now. I'm actually a little bit late to go, and also this video would take too long and you wouldn't watch. So, after this big, amazing, insane experience that I really, really, really hope you guys try at home, because you deserve. And wow, if you don't like oysters, maybe you haven't tried the right one. Might be that, okay? Maybe if you try the mango kombucha granita with hot sauce, you might start liking oysters. I don't know, I don't promise you anything, but if you do like oysters, please try them all. They're very, very easy to make. And don't be scared. Maybe you can ask somebody to open the oysters for you if you're afraid. Or, I don't know. Try, please. I don't know, you're gonna figure it out how you're gonna try, but please try it. And I hope one day I'll see those in the menu around the world, because people need to know about that. So help me in spreading the news. Let me know down in the comments. Would you try any of those? Were they too weird for you? Which one would be your favorite? Or yeah, whatever. Let me know, or you can let me know. And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching me until the end, following me, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget, always leave a comment, like, share the video, spread the news, because the world needs to know about those oysters. And that's it. Thank you so much. See you guys next. Bye!